Hello, YouTube. This is Rob. Yesterday I posted a pretty cool video, I thought, but I got a response from this guy, which I was really going to ignore, you know, but it's kind of hard, not to when you got somebody that says, after you've done all that hard work, and it says, "What the fuck is this gibberish? Are you out of your mind?" It's kind of fucking rude, actually, because no, I'm not out of my mind. Um, Basically he says I'm seeing things, okay, which I could, it's no big deal. I can put up with that. Um, Says that I'm imagining that people are seeing my findings, which right there I know he's a troll, because that's just a ridiculous comment. But I asked him, well, tell me exactly what it is that you don't think is lining up. He says everything you did in the video. You line things up, but they do not line up. There is no precision. So I didn't catch that until I made this copy. But then my buddy here, he just told him right off, you don't watch the whole video, dumbass, because you probably didn't. And then of course he said 35 minutes of mindless drivel. Well, here is my video that proves this jackass is completely off his rocker. Um, at first I didn't want to make this video, but now I'm glad because you guys get to see the exact precision that I'm talking about that this guy claims isn't there. So let's find out who's right. Okay, I'm going to start off by doing these two areas because they just happen to be almost completely on opposite sides of the planet from each other, which makes them the furthest they possibly could be from one another. This is getting close to the North Pole, and this, of course, is getting close to the South Pole. And I'm talking about these areas right here. And if you think about it, plate tectonics say that the continents move at the rate that our fingernails grow, at the same speed, pretty much. So you got to remember that also continents, according to plate tectonics, travel around the outer surface. None of it goes through the planet or anything. So that adds on to the distance. So if you were to grow your fingernails from this crater in China to wrap around the planet and reach this area on the opposite side, how long would you think it would take it to do that? It would take, I think it would take billions of years, okay, because that's a far distance. So basically, if these two areas were once on top of each other, according to plate tectonics, it must have taken billions of years for them to be as far apart as they are now, which means that there's no way they could line up even if they did set on top of one another originally, because billions of years of erosion between these two areas. You got one that's submerged partially in the water, and then the other one that's up in the mountains and desert. You're talking extreme conditions for different types of erosion over billions of years. None of this would line up, no matter how much they were reoccurring patterns of one another. And what my point is that by lining these up and showing you precise alignments, proves without a doubt that this planet is younger than what they've told us. At least the surface features have to be, because there's no way that these should line up as precise as I'm going to show you that they do, just for this guy to see. I'm just going to kind of go through this as quickly as I can, but show you as much as I can too. In a strange way, it almost looks like it's lining up right here already. But let's bring it through. I'm looking at this area ahead of this area, and I want to try to find alignments as I know it's coming in, just to show you how much reoccurring patterns do affect the entire area. Okay. Okay, I see maybe that. Oh man, that might look like a flip, whatever. But, oops. Okay, so yeah, that could be alignment. I know it probably is, but there's better stuff than that. Here, yeah, that does look like it lines, but I'm thinking more like this, following the features on India, and you can see the rotation of this island, whatever, or the connection with rotation. Okay, sure, I could be making that up. So let's notice that this is a partial hexagon right here, which is usually a sign, a signature that this is electromagnetic in nature, because electricity and electromagnetism likes to leave hexagon shapes behind, craters, stuff like that. You can pretty much guess that that's exactly what it's going to be that made it. All right, so yeah, maybe if I take a bigger picture here first, you can see right now that this area seems to be lining up with the Himalayas. As a matter of fact, this looks like as if fluid was flowing through the mountain peaks, and this is the texture that it gave it as it was flowing through, which seemed to line really well with the mountain peaks. But to pinpoint a certain spot, you have to look for some kind of characteristic that stands out different from the rest, and then find it on the other one, and then line them up and see what else lines up because of it. And I'm trying to think what I got here. Well, there is this right here that seems a little different, and so are these right here, and they're big and they're easy to notice. So that they're sitting together. These look like, yeah, these look like the hexagon shapes there. So let's try that. Where's an obvious one here like that? Yeah, like that. See, I find it like that, line it up, and then I look at the other stuff around it and see if this makes, yeah, because look, if you take it in further, it lines up with the white snow parts, whatever, that must be snowed on, snow on the mountain. So it makes sense that it would match the same thing and stand out, and it does. Look. Okay, that's pretty good, but this guy is expecting precision. So this actually, to be honest with you, this looks like it flip-flops, because see this triangular shape? It looks more like this, but it also fits in there right there, yeah. See, you're going to find it on both sides because it's features that are reoccurring. And then while that's lining up there, you can see below that we got our hexagon right here, partial hexagon, and then the texture fulfilling it. Okay. And while that's being, filled, this is coming right here. This is rotation, obviously. This is spinning. You can just tell that. I mean, it's so obvious. It gets ridiculous after a while when you've seen it as many times as I do. But you can see, here we go. That fits there. Bring this in. That fit. Oh yeah, that's right. There's that upside down A over here. I remember this from yesterday. But he didn't see that, so yeah, I could see this line right here. It looks like a lot like that if I was to rotate it a hair. And that lines up with that when you do it, so that kind of validates it. You can see this line or dot in the background as this comes through. You can see it lining up with this, what is it, a volcano behind it? Right in here. That looks a lot like an alignment right there, doesn't it? Well, it should to that guy. Okay, but we're not going to stop there. We're going all the way with this. I couldn't resist, so I flipped that layer, because in my model you can do that because vortexes rotate like that. So you're going to find stuff lining up either left or right, upside down or right side up. And so I did that, and I decided to line up, it was that triangle shape right here. And I wanted to line it up because it looked like it might fit in here. And you see that it does. And as it does, you can see that this part right here fits into here. Like that, I guess. So this is rotating around India. It has to be. Look how it fits again. See how it fits? It's crazy. Why would it? And then look, it fits it in here. Fits up there. Yeah, because there's other triangular shapes right here. So if I mount it in those, maybe something else will happen. Maybe not. You can kind of see what it does here too, that overspill, spill out. You can see it running down. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. All the while, I wonder if this lines up too. It kind of does. I mean, the thickness does. Yeah, it does. As I bring this into here, you can see that this is lining up in there. See how it lines up in there? Yeah, and this is also part of the vortex wrapping around. So you can see that something is. It just looks like exactly what I'm just saying. It's wrapping around it like Birkeland currents. And then of course this is complementing it as it does it. You can see it. Okay, so that's just interesting. I wasn't expecting that for some reason, and because this usually goes the other way. Oh yeah, one last thing before I move on to something different here. I just like to ask that guy, whatever the hell his name was, if he sees any alignments here. I'm just wondering if he doesn't see this right here. And of course, when that lines up, this is lining up here. And maybe he doesn't see that lining up. Like this. Do you see that lining up? Even the fault line is lining up. Because the faults aren't what they say they are. Also, there's this storm rotating here. This rotation. This is obviously rotating. And when I'm lining up stuff like here, Yeah, you can see that goes in there, but it's the same thing over here. It's part of that hexagon thing. You can see, and then as that lines up, you can see how, this fault follows the contours and all that. But I know this will probably line up here because of the rotation. I recognize it right here. And sure enough, I think there's alignments going on here with these faults. See, you can just tell they're similar. They're definitely related. But okay, I don't want this video to take too much time, so let me move on to this. Okay, I think this swings. I think these two areas might swing and come together if you look at this three-dimensionally, because you saw this fitting on this side. Well, it's odd that you can rotate it and fit it on this side too. Okay, like in every way possible. Like as I line this up, you can see that this lines up here. Look, watch, from start to beginning. Maybe, hold on. It goes like this. I'm looking at this part right here first. Yeah, like that. See how that lines up there? But then it lines up here. These are all the same thing. They're just different moments and depths of the same thing. That's all they are. It's the same thing, but like I said, you have 100 stacks, 100 pieces of paper stacked on one another, and then you make take a welder and make an electrical discharge across the papers. You're going to have 100 different reoccurring patterns of the same thing, but each one's slightly different because of time and all that. But so you can see that this lined up here. You can see this line comes out right there. And then this, of course, keeps going all the way through. And then this is the same thing as this right here. It's a reoccurring pattern of one another, except for this is more towards the actual moment that created it. So it's got more stuff going on, but you can see it lines up again over and over again. This one slides a little different because this one fulfills this middle section right here. I didn't notice that on the other one, so I think that's a little different. But then you got this right here lining up along as we go along. So you can see that, right? So I would think you could. It's kind of hard not to see that alignment. I hope some people back me up on this too when this guy decides to tell me he can't see these ones either. Because look, as that fills in there, what happens here? You can see how it lines up with the contours here. You see that? Actually, all I need to do is just rotate it a hair counterclockwise and it'll fit, I think, even better. Wow, this video might end up being longer than I hoped because there's a lot of cool stuff here that I haven't really posted before because I never really went this far with it. But check it out. Look how well my theory lines up right here. Right there, okay. But then look over here. And then right here. These are opposite sides of the planet. And this guy says I made no alignments and there was definitely no precision alignment. This is precision, and I still got something that's even more precise coming up right real quick. But I didn't count on this. This is kind of cool. I never really checked in this area before for some reason. So, I mean, this is good as gold right here. And it's gonna get better actually when I show you what I got planned here. But you can see that this is that right there, and it goes. It's the same thing as over here, and it's all going this way now. And I think that's pretty solid, right? I mean, I think almost everybody would agree that that is solid. And if you don't, you should do your own overlay, because you will after you do it yourself. I guarantee it. Look at that. Every which way. Man. Okay, so now for the next. Okay, for this shot of the Himalayas in that area, I got super close so that I would be able to zoom in really good. And but first I want to see where the alignments are taking place here. I noticed that this is also lining up before the Himalayas, because obviously the Himalayas are like a wave of matter from the vortex, and it's obviously electric. You can just look at it; it's a no-brainer. That no collision makes this kind of a pattern, but electricity does it all day long, and it only makes sense too, of course. But okay, so you can see that it is lining up with these features here. But you notice that there's rotation, like a worm drive. These are those Birkeland currents. I'm telling the world that's what this is doing this, and it's so obvious that's the truth. And you can see that they line up. Let me make sure I get it right though. Far away. Oh yeah, look, you can't get it wrong here. Put that triangular thing right in there and you're good to go. And see the alignments. Yeah, of course, look at that. You got this in the background and this from the other side of the planet, splitting off and going the way they should be here. Yeah, take a look. Okay, so you can see that this area, and then I just simply bring in this area, and this lines up here faintly. When that lines up, I'm looking for other alignments to support. You can just tell. Geez, look right there. Look at that. I mean, come on. And if I get closer, oh my God, it doesn't matter how close I get. It's gonna fulfill the image. Is that a building? Crap. I'm gonna have to look at that on Google Earth. Okay, so I think we can all agree that this is solid right here. You can see the rotation and then the ripples below. You can just see that they're one and the same here. Everything lines up as it should in the background. The only thing that's amiss I can see of is this triangular shape right here, but I actually think that might be this island once I flip-flop it and rotate it in. This island may be just moving all around when this is turbulent. You know, this is turbulence right here. Look at this right here. And then that. Come on. That guy, I want to hear him say that this didn't line up. Oh my God, that'd be so hilarious. I got this, man. I was just fucking so happy. You can't believe how much fun it is to prove these people wrong when they make comments like that. Okay, so that's a done deal, my opinion. Come on. If there's anybody out there who thinks they can prove that this is not lining up or wrong, just be my guest. Give it your best shot. Good luck to you. Last but not least, what I claim created the entire planet, this crater. And it sits in China, and you can find reoccurring patterns of this crater all over the planet. That's what led me to here. I never really even saw this crater before. I mean, I don't remember it for some reason. I can't believe I would not be able to. How could you miss such an obvious? I mean, this thing is huge. And you could tell that when I put these pictures together, they line up with precision, because I made these extra close-up shots here just to make my point clear to this guy, that when I say that I have precision alignments, I mean I do. I'm not joking. Look. Get rid of that one. I don't need that there. So I want to get as close as possible on some of these. I mean, to the finest details too. Like that and stuff. But there was something. Oh yeah. Yeah, I just can't believe this guy, huh? Look at this, like, it doesn't get any better. Look. You see that? Are you sure that you can't see these alignments? You should probably get a second opinion, bro. Get somebody that, you know, maybe one of the nurses at your crazy house or wherever you live. Ask one of them to take a look at this and ask them if this doesn't match up exactly. Because watch as I bring this down. To right. Where was it? I think it was right. Yeah, here, of course. Where it ends. Look. You see this area? You can't possibly convince me that you don't see this alignment. Look at that. Come on, guys. This actually, I am surprised that no seismologist, no geologist, no scientist has taken a look at this and realized, holy crap, this guy's got it. Or at least told me about it. See the circular right here? This warrants... See, this is how I know our science is corrupted. This, without a doubt, warrants a top scientific investigation. And you'll probably never hear of it. Think about that. And look at the evidence I'm showing you. Oh my God! I mean, if you don't think this is incredible, go see what plate tectonics shows for their evidence, and I guarantee you'll realize that this is something spectacular that I'm showing you. But not to the guy that I'm proving this to, of course. To him, this is a nutcase job right here. No business showing this on YouTube. Thanks, pal. But you couldn't be more wrong. In my opinion, I don't know. Because I'm seeing this is amazing right here. Because I really know, I do know something about plate tectonics. And I can tell you that this is an amazing feature. Look at how it lines up here. Anybody, you could show anybody this and they're going to say this lines up. Look at that right there. Opposite sides of the planet, they line up as if this just happened yesterday. Can't you see that there's something wrong with plate tectonics? I mean, that's all I'm asking is people to see the truth here. And that's what I'm showing you. I'm not even trying to get famous off this or anything. I really could care less about all that. I'm just trying to wake people up that there's a different reality around them and they don't know it. They don't know that the vortex made the planet. They have no idea that the evidence that I've got for that is staggering. It lines up. You see this? There's no way this guy can say this doesn't align. And I know I got a lot of people supporting me now. I know that. So somebody needs to tell this guy that he's fucking off his rocker. But hey, I'm glad you made me prove that you were wrong, though, pal. Look at that. And now you can see why I made that challenge in the last video to geologists and scientists around the planet, because I don't think I'm going to get noticed. I don't think this is going to get noticed unless I start making dramatic claims or something like that, you know, trying to maybe anger some of them to come and, you know, show me up or whatever, because I don't know how else I could get their attention to investigate this. I really don't. Because it'd be a shame if the rest of the world didn't get to know this. I mean, that's really what this is just something that the rest of the world deserves to know. And I don't think the current science has a right to censor it or block it or keep it from other people. And that's why I don't even want to go that route. I don't trust them. And I'm being purely honest about that, because if I've seen what goes on. I've seen the censorship. I've seen the lies, manipulation that they put out, the inaccurate science that they talk. They don't even practice scientific method with the gravity waves and all that. None of that stuff is science. That's science fiction. And if I could figure this out, well, maybe some people should listen to what I have to say about that, because maybe I know something they don't. Right? I really appreciate you guys watching this, and I'm sorry that I had to go this route with this guy, but hey, I just want to prove him wrong, and I think I did that. Thanks for watching.